the late 1700s, the British East India Company was eager to trade with China. So England sent a special envoy to the Forbidden City to negotiate a treaty with the Emperor to allow British traders free access to China. But the Emperor Qinlong refused to meet with the British representative, Lord Macartney, and sent a note refusing his request. 7 years later, Qinlong died. But the trade problem still existed. British demand for Chinese goods, porcelain, silk, and tea, increased. But the British were reluctant to trade silver for these goods. Finally, Britain found a commodity to trade with China without depleting her own resources: opium, imported from India. When Chinese authorities tried to stop the opium trade, the British sent in their gunboats. A war ensued, and 20 years later, the Treaty of Tianjin in 1858 turned over China's ports and all of her international trade to Western control. The power of the Chinese dynasty had come to an end. Still, Imperial China pretended nothing was wrong. The Dowager Empress Su Shi organized a coup when the emperor died and installed their 6-year-old son as his successor. But the power behind the throne was all hers. Although life went on as usual in the Forbidden City, riots erupted across the nation in the late 1800s. These riots were known as the Boxer Rebellion.
As the 20th century opened, China was in turmoil. Corruption was widespread. Opium addiction was endemic. Rebellion, drought, and famine claimed the lives of 60 million Chinese. Foreign nations had divvied up the empire into spheres of influence, areas where one country had exclusive rights to trade, invest, and had special political rights. With a coaling base in the Philippines just 400 miles from China, American businesses hoped to take advantage of China's vast resources and sell to her vast market. John Hay, then U.S. Secretary of State, had a brilliant idea. He sent letters to all the foreign powers suggesting an open-door policy in China. This policy would help U.S. businesses by guaranteeing equal trading rights for all, preventing one nation from discriminating against another. At the same time, the open-door policy maintained the territorial integrity of China, an idea that appealed to anti-imperialists at home. Other powers politely put Hay off, saying that while an open-door policy is a good idea in principle, they had no way of enforcing it. However, Hay, despite the debate, boldly announced that everyone had agreed to the policy. Everyone, that is, except China. Su Si, Empress Dowager of the Qing dynasty, was eager to rid her empire of these foreigners. In northern Shandong province, a secret society known as the Fists of Righteous Harmony attracted thousands of followers. They, too, wanted to rid China of foreign influences, but they also sought to throw off the yoke of the corrupt Chinese government. Foreigners called members of this society boxers because they practiced martial arts. Boxers believed that through meditation and discipline, they could cloak themselves in a mystical shield, so foreign bullets could not harm them. The Empress welcomed the boxers as China's defenders and turned their fury squarely against the foreign community. In June 1900, the Boxers began their bloody campaign. They murdered hundreds of foreign missionaries and Chinese Christian converts, destroying millions of dollars worth of property. About 900 foreigners blockaded themselves in their embassies for nearly 2 months, repelling waves of Boxers.
Ammunition, food, and medical supplies were almost gone. Then shortly before dawn, loud explosions rocked the city. Weary defenders staggered to the barricades expecting a final, overpowering Boxer attack.
But instead, relief had arrived. Troops from Britain, France, Germany, Japan, and the U.S. fought their way into Peking to free their countrymen and put down the rebellion. The Boxers, believing they were impervious to bullets, were cut down by the thousands.
The rebellion produced a bloodbath. Troops from Europe arrived in force. The imperial family fled the Forbidden City, and soldiers entered its gates. For the first time, outsiders stood, uninvited, at the Dragon Throne. It was the beginning of the end of Chinese dynastic rule. In 1911, China became the Republic of China. In 1949, the People's Republic of China was founded. The days of glory for the imperial family were over, once and for all.